so over streaming services, bumping their price for absolutely no reason.
Don't own anything. Not our homes, not our cars, not our devices, not even our music and movies.
You will own nothing. You will own nothing and be very unhappy because your streaming services will no longer carry your favorite movies and TV shows, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of people are now going back to physical media. I'm talking VHS, cassettes, DVDs, Blu-rays, video games. They're going back to hard copies just in case anything happens in the future. Think about it. You're at a cottage and you don't have any Wi-Fi or any internet up there, but you do have a DVD player. So you bring along your favorite DVDs to watch, and you don't get ads or anything like that as well when you're watching old physical media and content, unless it's the beginning of a VHS. There's a lot of commercials there, but for the most part, completely ad-free on top of that, and you don't have to pay a subscription service every month. And then on top of that, still have to pay to rent movies. What's the point of having the subscription service if we still have to pay to rent movies? And this is something that's happened to me before, where I'll try to watch a few movies from the same franchise, and the last one is behind a paywall where you have to rent it. What the heck? Like, why do I have the streaming service if you're not going to give me the last film for free along with the service as well that I'm paying for? Not even for free, I'm paying for the service. This is why people are going back to physical media in the year 2026. I'm going to discuss it in today's video and react to a bunch of videos as well pertaining to this topic. Also, if you find yourself coming back to the channel watching more content, I really would appreciate you guys hitting that subscribe button. And with that being said, let's dive into it today.
Let's go back to physical media. I'm going to raise my kids like it's 1996. We're going to have an extensive VHS collection to use our VCR. We're going to have CD-ROM players. Do you remember these? Who remembers these? Shout out if you remember these. You used to have to use it when you returned the thing you rented from Blockbuster. You know, be kind. Finish the phrase. We need to go back to physical media so we can cut out subscription services. These streaming platforms have you in a vice grip. You have to pay a monthly fee to multiple different platforms because not all of them have the shows you're interested in. And even then, they might decide to pull your favorite show or movie and then never stream it again. You need to have the physical copy. Plus, and this might be a little crazy, but what if the apocalypse happens and there is no internet anymore and you need to run your house on your bicycle generator and you got nothing to watch because there is no Wi-Fi, there is no streaming platform? You need your VCR. Go out and start your VHS collection. I'm begging you. Let's go back to physical media.
VHS tapes are becoming very, very popular right now. My brother is actually collecting VHS tapes as well right now, and he's mostly focusing on horror movies, but in general, I always tell him if I'm at the thrift store and I find anything that he wants for free, I take a few photos and he selects a few VHS copies, and the next time he comes visit me, I send him back home with him in his luggage. And I do also have a decent collection of physical media, but mostly video games and DVDs, some Blu-rays. But watching this more makes me want to go out and hunt for more. And every once in a while, you could be lucky and find a huge tote of physical media on a place like Facebook Marketplace, so I would be checking that from time to time if I were you guys and you want to jump into this as well, because you never know if the movie you're watching or the TV show you're watching eventually has episodes removed or becomes banned in certain countries, because that's happened before. So another reason to own some physical media.
The red boxes was already sad enough to grow up in the Blockbuster and Hollywood Video era, and then to lose those, and now we can't even rent a movie at the red box. I have so many streaming services, yet not a single one has the movie that I want to watch. And now you can't rent a movie for less than $5.99, I think is the cheapest I found by going to like different streaming services and seeing how much it is. Well, you can buy the movie for $14.99. And I always just end up getting suckered into buying the movie on my Vudu, or I think they call it like Fandango now because they changed it. If I watch it 2.5 times, like, I might as well own it. And how do I know that next year I'm not going to want to watch it again? Ugh, if I could, I would open a video store in my area. Honestly, it would be so cool if Dan and I opened like a reptile / video store. Reptile Zoo / video store. Something like that. I don't know. I gotta do something. I miss renting movies. I hate all these streaming services. And sometimes I go to the library, but 9 times out of 10, they don't actually have the movie that I'm looking for, especially if it's a newer movie, or like a much older movie. They have movies and you can go there and just like aimlessly pick a movie and have it be a good one, but you can't really go there with the intention of finding a specific movie that you want to find. And that's literally the only place that you can check out movies anymore. Everything else is streaming or digital rentals. Take me back to the 2000s, please. Or even the 90s. Anyways, this is what I'll be buying for $14.99 because the third one is out in theaters. Last night I watched the first one, which I already had purchased on my Vudu, and probably because I couldn't rent it anywhere. So I might as well just purchase the second one because they're a little pair. And then I want to go see the third one next week. And Pam Bondi lies. All right, bye.
She's not wrong at all about just going into a Blockbuster and just soaking it all in. I used to love going to Blockbusters when I was a kid and a teenager, and ultimately I think when I was around 1920 is when Blockbusters closed. But I can still smell the popcorn in my mind when I think about myself going through the aisles, looking at the fronts of all the DVDs and VHS tapes. Honestly, I just want to be back there. It was just so much better when you can actually own something, you can rent something, bring it back. You don't feel like you're tied down to a subscription service that ultimately you feel like you don't get enough out of, but you're also afraid of canceling it because you know that they might raise the price later on. And that's usually what they do every year.
So over streaming services, bumping their price for absolutely no reason, not improving their selection. I'm about to go to Half Price Books and look at some DVDs because they got a pretty big selection here, at least in my town. And I'll show you what I got. What annoys me most is, for example, Prime Video. Whenever Christmas rolls around, all of those movies like Home Alone or whatever, now you gotta pay for them again, right? Obviously, because they know that everybody wants to watch them, and so they're gonna make you pay for them again. And that is something I just don't want to do anymore. So let's go. I got a couple of DVDs and Blu-rays, and I do have to say that Half Price Books is more on the pricier side, right? Compared to if you would buy it at a yard sale or eBay or Marketplace or something like it, right? So let me show you what I got. First of all, I got all of the Harry Potter ones for $40. And then I got the Grinch for $9.99, which that's a bit more pricey. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's out there like for cheaper. Then I got the animated one for $8.49. Then I got Beauty and the Beast, the new one, for $4.99. That's actually not bad. Then I got We're the Millers for $3 because it was on their sale rack. And then The Princess and the Frog, because I really like that, and my daughter does too, for $3. And then I got Home Alone and Home Alone 2 for $9.99. I don't think that's that bad, okay. And then I got Christmas Vacation, one of my all-time favorite movies. And then I got Elf, obviously, for $7.49. And then I got Breakfast at Tiffany's, one of my favorite movies ever, $5.49. Since I have a toddler, I was like thinking I want my child to be able to just kind of like select what she wants to watch. And of course you can do that with a streaming service. But I have a feeling that a year from now, you're going to be paying like $200 for 8,000 different streaming services. And that is literally a low number. I think it's going to be much higher because they're out of control.
Oh, it's getting worse. It's getting way worse. It's not like, I would say it's like we're going back to cable again, but it's actually worse than that. You think about all the companies out there that own the rights to their movies. Instead of being like a massive hub like Netflix where all you really needed was one streaming service, now you have like on average 5 to 6. You're eventually going to have 10 per household.
Don't own anything. Not our homes, not our cars, not our devices, not even our music and movies. This is my case for physical media. The second you stop paying for your subscription, poof, it's gone. The playlist you've spent years building, gone. Your favorite comfort shows, gone. Sometimes my streaming subscriptions. It's also taught me not to be obsessed with newness. There's a whole history of good music, good movies, and good media behind me, preserved and ready to be consumed over and over again. And for far less than what I was paying to subscribe, I found so much more freedom in discovering and rediscovering great works that have already been made, over being tied to the bounds of what these streaming services think I will like this month. But the real problem is we don't own anything.
there's a lot of people waking up to this realization as well. And if you're one of those individuals, I want you guys to comment down below in the comment section. Also, leave a like on the way out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.